Okay, so let us begin with the new discussion, that is artificial intelligence. Focus will be on their risk as well as governance. Clear? So now we all know that artificial intelligence is definitely helpful. Okay, no doubt about it. Clear? But there are some risks associated with the artificial intelligence. So in order to properly manage the risk, we need to have a proper governance, rules, policies and framework in order to ensure that we'll be able to tackle those risks which are arising out of the use of artificial intelligence. Now let us proceed with our discussion. The whole chapter is divided basically in two parts. Part 1 is AI risk and governance. Write down AI, that is artificial intelligence risk and governance. Now this AI risk and governance is further divided into two parts. Part 1 is AI risk categories. AI artificial intelligence risk categories. And the second part is AI governance. AI governance. Clear? Now let us move to our second major subhead, that is AI issues and risk mitigation. Write down AI issues and risk mitigation. So further it is divided into two parts. Part 1 is about challenges. Write down part 1 is about challenges. Now if you'll make this chart, things will become easy for you to remember. So all those challenges which are coming from artificial intelligence and machine learning, and the next part is the mitigation of risk. So if we are well versed these four things, okay, the topic is going to be very simple for us. Clear? Now let us understand this part, AI risk categories. Now this risk category is further divided into four main parts. So write down the risk 1, that is data related risk. Write down number 2, artificial intelligence and machine learning attack. Write down third point, testing and trust. And write down the fourth point, which is compliance. Clear? These are the four topics which we have to cover up. Clear? Now these four topics are further subdivided, so we will understand each one of them and then we will move ahead. Clear? Now make sure that you are preparing this chart, otherwise the topic will become very clumsy, difficult to remember. Okay, so write down data related risk. Now we all know that in artificial intelligence and machine learning, data is everything. Clear? So there are two basic risks. One is the quality of the data quality, and the learning limitations. Now inside this data quality, you can write down few points like incomplete, next irrelevant, next outdated, okay, or some inappropriate content. Clear? Incomplete, irrelevant, outdated and inappropriate content. So this is the input and garbage in, garbage out. So if you will give the worst quality data, you are going to get worst quality output, and based on that output you are going to take the decision. So your decision is also going to be wrong. Clear? Now just like if you remember that previously I have given you some example, like this is a Tesla car, and they have the AI inbuilt in them. So if they know that if something, a speed breaker will come like this, so their camera will detect such those pictures, and their system will process those pictures, and it will give a order to the car that now you need to slow down, now you need to slow down. Clear? But suppose there is a hole on the road, suppose there is a hole on the road, and that was not captured earlier by the system. Okay, that the system was not trained for that holes. Clear? Because this is something which is unexpected, they never expected that such thing is going to happen. So the car did not take any action, and it went into the full speed, and the car broke down. Clear? So it is impractical that we are going to cover every possible situation. Write down, this is impractical to cover all possible situation. Something will always left. Okay, if I'll give you an example, we have 100 chapters to cover, and in 100 chapters we have more than 600 learning objective to cover, and in 600 LOS there are more than 2000 concepts to cover. Clear? So out of those concepts, some always left. Clear? So it is always considered to be as a limitation that you will be covering up each and everything in detail, solving all possible questions available in the world. Something will always left out. Clear? So this is our first part, which is based on the data. Clear? Second is the AI and machine learning attacks. Clear? So now let us see what are the subdivisions. First subdivision is data privacy attack. Data privacy attack. Write down. Second one, data poisoning. Data poisoning. Write down next, adversarial inputs. And the last one is model extraction. Clear? These are the 4 subtopics of machine learning and artificial intelligence attack. Now data privacy attack means the attackers from outside, they are going to take your confidential data. Now how they will take this? First of all, they will understand the pattern of your system, or we can say they will understand the models, they will understand the parameters which your systems are taking. Clear? And accordingly they will set some queries in the system, and then they will take the data out from your system. Clear? So over here there are 2 things. One, they will steal your data, okay, your private data, or they can also steal the information about the model which you are using to train your systems. Clear? So we call this as model inversion attack. Okay, you can give the name so that you can remember. Model inversion attack. And this is one of the most dangerous type of attack, because they will steal the model, okay, the data which is giving a training to your system. Clear? Now data poisoning. Now in this, what they are actually doing, they are actually spoiling your model, okay, the model which is training your system. Clear? So they will spoil that model, and once the model got spoiled, the whole learning process will get corrupted, and the output which you are getting will be dangerous. Means suppose they poison the data, that if they will see this kind of speed breaker, the car need to increase the speed. And once these type of coding will enter into the system, the car will definitely increase the speed, and it will create a huge loss. So we are doing data poisoning, or you can say model poisoning. Clear? You are impacting, or you are playing with the model directly. Now the next point is adversarial input. Okay, now your system is taking input from 2 sources. One is one is from the inside, okay, from your own organization. Suppose there is a bank, okay, you have your own data of customer visiting the branch per day, but you also take the data from external sources, okay, that how many customers visit in another branch in different location. Clear? So your model is well trained enough so that they can classify the data which is coming from inside and the data which is coming from outside. Clear? And once when they will classify them, they will give a weight. There is a very high weight to these kind of data and a very low weight to these datas, because this one is trustworthy, but over here the trust is little less as compared to the one which is originated in your own organization. But there are some malicious attack on the system that they are unable to classify those data which is coming from the internal source and those data which is coming from the external source. Clear? And the model extraction means you are trying to thief model directly. Clear? Getting my point? Or you can see that model inversion attack, this one is different, okay, it attempts to steal the training data set. You can mention it over here, training data set. Clear? Training data set, but this will steal the whole model itself. Clear? Now coming to the next part, that is testing and trust. Clear? So I don't have space, so over here I will write, I'll decrease the size of the text so that you can see. Okay, now point number 1 is incorrect output. Incorrect output. Point number 2 is lack of transparency. Lack of transparency. And point number 3 is bias. Clear? So we need to understand each of the 3 points now. Now, incorrect output. There are many models in the beginning whose aim is basically to improve as and when they go ahead. Means if today I am using a model, clear, so I am giving a data set to it, it is giving me an output. Clear? After 3 days, when it will get more trained, it will get more data, so it will train itself. So after 2 days it will give me output that is definitely better than the before. Again after 1 month it will be having more amount of data set. Clear? So it have learned a lot. So now whatever answer I am getting from it, it is going to be more superior. So it is saying that earlier the data which I am getting from over here is incorrect. Clear? Now the next point is the lack of transparency. We all know that machine learning and artificial intelligence is not a very old concepts, they are very new. Clear? So they have the reputation of being non-transparent because everyone don't understand. Okay, means if you will pick a person, say 1 out of 1000 will understand artificial intelligence and machine learning, and rest it is all done by the systems rather than the humans. Definitely human have developed the system, but at the end system will improve. The more and more you will train them, the more and more you will provide data to it. Clear? So the first and foremost point is the level of understanding of the common people. So when they don't understand it, they won't trust it. Clear? So there is a lack of transparency, there is lack of trust. Now the last point is the bias, which is saying that if I'll keep a human and if I'll keep a robot, okay, the one which is trained with artificial intelligence, so they are saying that the level of thinking power, okay, that will definitely will never match. So they are considering that there is always a bias based on the gender, because a woman will think differently, a man will think differently. Okay, so people even from the different country have different perception based on their culture, based on their lifestyle. Clear? But these robots, these artificial intelligence will not consider these things. Clear? So this is the reason there is always a bias. Clear? There is always a risk that human may think differently and system may think differently. Clear? So this is the point which we have covered in testing and trust area. Clear? Now coming to the last part, that is compliance. Clear? So there is no particular subheads in the compliance. Now, when I'm saying compliance, earlier companies are not using this artificial intelligence and machine learning, but now there is an increasing use of artificial and machine learning in the finance sector. So, there are regulators who are saying that you should re-examine your policies and procedure because they are without the artificial intelligence and machine learning. So now you should incorporate that your systems are now updated with artificial and machine learning. So your policy and procedure should be updated accordingly, because now you are monitoring the data, now you are handling the data in a very different manner. Okay, so your compliance must be regarded with those artificial intelligence and machine learning. So this is the end of the first part, that is artificial risk and categories. Clear? Now move to the second part, artificial intelligence governance. Clear? So it is further divided into 4 parts. Artificial intelligence and governance further divided into 4 parts. Okay, so now we need to cover up these 4 parts: definition, inventory, policies and standards, and the framework. So now there are regulators and firms, they are saying that if there is an increase in use of the artificial intelligence, then definitely you need to come up with the governance, rules, policies, standards, framework of, basically you should have a governance committee as well who is going to govern your artificial intelligence and machine learning. Clear? Just like we have the IT governance team, risk governance team. So why should not be having the artificial intelligence governance full methodology? Clear? Now when you are starting the artificial intelligence governance, okay, its definition, then your first agenda is to ensure that what is artificial intelligence. First of all, define that what is artificial intelligence and what artificial intelligence is not. Means what is artificial intelligence and what is not. Clear? So now once you know that what is artificial intelligence, now you can take the decision whether what should be the policies and standards, what should be the rules, what should be the inventory. So first step is to define what AI is. Clear? Now the next step is to define that what it incorporate. That what it incorporate means what are the things included under artificial intelligence. What are the methods you will take to train your artificial intelligence systems. So definition will include 2 things. First of all, teach me what is AI and what is not. Apart from understanding how AI works, inventories, its policies, its procedure, its framework, and the method which you will use for the training and the development of the system. So you can write down over here for training and development of the system. Take AI as a robot. Okay, this will be easy for you to understand that you need to nurture this particular robot. So first of all, you need to tell that what this robot is, what it can actually do. Now you need to teach it, just like you have studied class 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, then college, then CFA, then FRM. Okay, so you also need to teach him, but his teaching will be different. Okay, that particular robot will be taught with the help of the data, with the help of the pictures, with the help of the informations, and you are going to teach him. Clear? Apart from that, you need to design the policies and the frameworks like your parents do for you, that you have to do good things, you should not drink, you should not smoke. So similarly, there are policies, there are procedures, and there are framework within which that particular robot is going to work. Clear? Now coming to the next point of discussion, that is the inventory. Now whenever I am saying about the inventory, what a robot needs? A robot needs a system. Robot needs data. Robot needs information and how it will be utilized. How it will be utilized. All information must be there. What are the restrictions? What are the restrictions? Clear? How you are going to use the system. Okay, usage of the system. So organizations spend their time as well as their money to get this data, to get the system ready, okay, to get this element in place. Okay, what are the resources required? Everything will be ready so that they can start ahead with the systems. Now earlier the companies have their own policies and standard, but now the AI got introduced, so you need to update. You need to update your policies, your standards, your systems, okay, framework, everything needs to be updated. Whatever additional documentation required for the AI and ML purpose, that also should be produced. Clear? Apart from the ethical use of the artificial intelligence, that how you are going to use the data, okay, because data is considered to be as the most important element to the organization as well as to the society, because any misuse to the data can be harmful to anyone. Clear? Now the last point is the framework, governance framework, like who all are working in the group, okay, who all are the stakeholders of that particular AI. Clear? You need to create the best practices, you need to engage in all those knowledge sharing events, then you need to develop the controls with respect to AI use, because it is certainly new for many organization, even for the many employees, okay, then how to use the system that should be spread across the organization. Clear? Now if you want to increase the probability of your success, then you need to ensure that you will work in a combined groups. Clear? Also you will work with those organization who are well versed with the technology, who have data engineers, means the one those who are readily knowledgeable with AI and machine learning. Because if you try to set up your own from the very scratch, this can become handy, this can become difficult. So what's the best way? Pick up those IT companies who are well versed with AI and machine learning, tie up with them, connect with them, and develop your own systems. Now those groups who are going to work, okay, the working group, they are going to evaluate many factors like data ethics, privacy concerns, regulations, okay. Then you need to ensure that your systems are well trained with the relevant data. That is an important part, because if you'll train your AI system with the wrong data, the output is going to be wrong for you. Clear? So now there should be the regular monitoring and review of the artificial intelligence system. Apart from that, there should be a hierarchy, that if you are going to take up a new process or a new system, that must be approved by the top management who are well versed with the knowledge. Okay, there must be an appropriate knowledge of AI systems. Apart from that, there are some members who have the expertise in that particular area, so that the guidance from the top management must be correct. Okay, apart from that, there must be ensured that you will not miss any new business opportunity. So that can only be possible when you have a team of experts. Okay, so over here the most important asset to an organization is the employees who have relevant experience in that particular field. Okay, so the last point of this particular lecture is the roles and responsibility regarding the implementation of AI. Roles and responsibility. So it will cover 4 different points. First point is that there must be a board who is going to review the ethics, okay, that would analyze all those AI project in terms of firm's ethical standard. Firm's ethical standard means whether those AI system are working in context to the firm ethical standard or not. For that, there will be a particular board who is going to review that particular stance. Clear? Thereafter, there will be a certificate of excellence. Okay, means you are sharing the best practices within the firm as well as to that particular industry. Certificate of excellence, it is coming from the best practices within the firm as well as outside the firm. Clear? Apart from that, there will be a data scientist group. Data scientist group, and they are responsible for the working of the AI system, their inventory, their version, their working performance, everything. Clear? Now there will be a separate ML, that is machine learning operation group. Okay. Now what is the responsibility of that group? They actually prepares the data that will be examined by the data scientist. Clear? Now further, that data will be used for the AI training. Clear? So these are the four roles and responsibility that we need to understand. Okay, so we are well versed with the first section of artificial intelligence risk and governance. In the next lecture we will cover up this part. So this will be covered in second lecture. Okay, this part is covered up in first lecture. Clear? Okay, so make sure that you will prepare this chart, otherwise things will become difficult to revise and remember. Thank you.